Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time. There will be background noise because it's so hot. I need to have the window open. I could close the window. Or do you like the sound of lawnmowers and bird song and snoring dogs? Is that okay? I do have directional microphones here, but I don't know. I don't know if they actually are that directional. I think they pick up everything else other than my voice. Anyway, Monday. It's coffee time. I've set this at 25 frames a second in a feeble hope that it won't stutter and fart out like it normally does. I don't know. Anyway, poor Boris, he's gone. Well, he isn't. He's still there. And we have, so many conservative hopefuls. A dozen. Is there a list? I think Liz Truss has just announced her candidacy. Dishi Rishi is there. Tom Tugendhat. Of course, Nadeem Zawawi, he's in. There's just so many of them. Lord Lucan, Shergar, Biffo the Bear, Desperate Dan, Roy Rogers on Trigger. I just slipped into Cool Britannia by the Bonzos there. So there's everyone's in it. Just hundreds of them, hundreds of Tory candidates for the leadership. You do know that you're going to regret. You wanted Boris out. You're going to regret it because at least you knew what you got with Boris. Now you just don't know. Hunt is he's in as well. I forgot him. Oh, he ain't good. I think he wants Esther McVeigh to be his deputy. We're doomed. But don't worry, it's good news. How so? Because 12 of Putin's officers are killed in a strike on a command post occupied in occupied Kherson. Because his S-400 defence system has failed, and the Ukraine forces have been using HIMARS missiles, which are American supplied. We have some flaming wreckage to look at, if that's any good. Do you want some flaming wreckage? There we are. Hooray! And yeah, that can only be a good thing. I thought it was all going to be over by February, wasn't it? Like last February, not next February. This is a good one. This is from Santander. Santander in the UK is a bank, and we've even got a picture of said bank. The Santander branch in Brixton. There you go, sunny Brixton. Look at it, South London, as you say it. A plucky young criminal strolled in with a helmet on and a visor, and just asked them for money, making out he was a G4S security guard. He wasn't even wearing the uniform, and yep, he had a fake ID. And they just took out 150 grand's worth of money. There were a number of cash boxes. They went out they call it the Noah's Ark robbery because he took out the cash boxes 2 by 2. Did he have a car waiting outside? I like the idea of him getting the bus home. But yeah, 6 boxes of cash he managed to, and they're quite sizable. But yeah, the cash boxes do have coded dies, which would soak into any banknotes if they're broken into. But I'm sure there's a YouTube video or a TikTok video that tells you how to unlock those safe boxes without any ill harm. Yeah, there's been a big leak of Uber emails. You know Uber? Now Uber spent a lot of time lobbying people like George Osborne, Matt Hancock, who remembers him, More hand, less cock. Michael Gove, Sajid Javid, Priti Patel, and that's without what's going on over the water in Paris with Macron. Yeah, they've been lobbying many powerful people to get what they want and to enforce their particular brand of zero contract workforce. Into the, because in the UK, in London, we have the black cabbies. What, this time of night, Gov? I'm not going to that part of town. Yet they all live in this part of town. The amount of cabbies where I live, black cabs parked, But when I was in gainful employment, after a skinful, after a night out, boy, could I ever get a cab to come this way? Not for love nor money. I had to beg, grovel. I did. But anyway, I'm getting off the point. Black cabbies, salt of the earth. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, up the old Kent Road, apples and pears, honest Gov. Just to keep the black cabbies on side. Yes, Uber has kind of displaced the cabbie in London, and you can see how, because they've actively lobbied all the politicos, all of them, and that's without what went on in Paris, because there's 124,000 now has been leaked. I mean, that's nothing compared to what Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's going through. They managed to get into his iCloud account. And boy, all the crimes are being exposed on 4chan, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. I haven't even read the news today. Apparently it's too hot to work because the temperatures are going to hit 91 degrees today. And HR bosses say that people should be getting a day off. There is actually rules. There is a rule that if the temperature goes over, I can't remember how much it was now. Is it 30 degrees? That sounds about right. And there isn't sufficient air quality, air conditioning. You can stop work. You can, because you wouldn't treat animals that way. So there's kind of a logic to that. I think on sunny days we should all get a day off. Well, I get every day off because I'm a useless member of society. I'm a scoundrel and a rotter. Isn't that right, missus? Isn't that right? I'm only doing it for her. But it gives the Daily Mail, because this is all stolen from the Daily Mail website, a chance to show some lovely pictures of ladies in their bikinis. It's like something for the dads. Something to keep the dads happy. Talking about keeping the dads happy, the story isn't here, but it came up yesterday. I'd have to search for it. Oh, here it is. I found it. Talking about keeping the dads happy, I wasn't going to cover this because it's hard to cover it. But Florence Pugh, I love Florence Pugh. She's an actress, British actress, and she's been in some Marvel stuff, Black Widow, and I think she appeared in the Hawkeye show at Christmas. She's been in lots of other things too. But I like her name, Florence Pugh. It just always makes me smile. I don't know why that is. I'm easily pleased. But she turned up at a fashion show, the Valentino Haute Couture show in Rome on Friday, wearing a dress. I can't actually show you the pictures because I'll probably get banned off of YouTube. But if you look at the pictures, it's see-through. It's a see-through number, and you can kind of, let's say, you can see her jubblies. To put it politely, you can see her jubblies. A fine pair of jubblies they are. But apparently she said she was upset. She went to social media saying that men shouldn't comment on her jubblies, even though she showed her jubblies. But it's more about the size of her jubblies. Apparently men were saying they were too small. But we know, lads, any more than a mouthful is a waste. So a thumbs up for Florence Pugh's jubblies. I can't believe I'm doing this strand. The missus is going to kill me. Meanwhile, Kelly Brook says her jubblies are too big. Kelly Brook blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know why. I've never followed her, never messenger. I don't know, how did that happen? But yeah, Kelly Brook's jubblies are too big, even though she made her money out of having big jubblies. And they wonder why men are confused. They wonder why men are confused with all this toxic masculinity. Look, jubblies are jubblies. Everyone loves a jubbly. It's a thing. It's funny. The missus is right. At a certain point, it craps out. It's almost like the computer just gets a little bit warm. Maybe if I just stop for a minute and pause. will catch up. It can't even do 25 frames a second now, this stupid computer. Where were we? What was I talking about? Jubblies. I shouldn't have done this. This was a bad idea. I think it's the heat. I think the heat has got to my computer. So yeah, I'm trying to get my browser to refresh because we do this live. There is no editing here because I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy for that. And I'm just waiting for everything to come back. And yeah, it's been a bit warm. It's been a bit warm in the UK. Phew. How warm is it, Darren? Oh, it's very warm. You know, me potatoes are boiling over. That's how warm it's been. And everyone's complaining about it because it's the UK. Next week it'll be snowing and raining and stuff. Meanwhile, Church of England admits it doesn't know what a woman is. The Right Reverend Robert Innes said yesterday the meaning of the word used to be self-evident, but now there are complexities associated to the word woman. No, there ain't. Oh, God. It's really easy. It's really easy. Is there a definition of a man? Notice that there isn't the same. This is where you know there's something wrong, because you never hear anyone saying, oh, what's the definition of a man? Funny that. Isn't that funny? But it's always the women. Is there some sort of sexism and misogyny at foot here? I think so. So yeah, the Church of England obviously have issues. Look, you can always go and ask the members of the Jewish faith or the Muslim faith. They know what a woman is, because when they menstruate, they make them sit in a different part of the temple. You know, so they know. A little bit. See, when Sarah went a little bit of politics there, a little bit of sexual politics there, but showing how they know, but then they still exclude women. Did you see Sarah did that? And I'm just riffing. I'm just making this up. God, I've got a brain like a laser today. It's all this instant coffee. That's what it is. Mrs. put about a third of a teaspoon of sugar in the coffee, and it's taken me stratospheric. Yeah, Sri Lanka. Let's go to world news. Sri Lanka. The President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Ranil, I'm not even going to try and say that, Wickremesinghe, that sounds about right, are going to resign because protesters stormed the palace, the presidential palace, to protest economic collapse and the bankrupt nation. Yeah, it's completely like a souffle. The Sri Lankan economy has completely hit the skids, completely gone down the toilet. You know what I blame? Brexit. That's what I blame. But they've got the right idea. This is what we need to do. We need to storm Parliament, because again, this is what's annoying me about this whole parliamentary thing, is whilst the Conservatives do all this, no one's going to be tackling this constant issue of inflation and our fuel prices going up when there are no fuel shortages. This is all a ruse, you know. This is all great big rules by the fuel companies, you know. I'm sure there's a way of stopping this without pushing us all into, well, bankruptcy. But did you know this, dear viewer? In France, where Macron is, they've decided they're gonna renationalise their leading energy company, which is EDF. EDF's going to be renationalised, so it'll be under governmental control again. Which, as one of my followers pointed out on Twitter, which I did know, but he pointed out, I'm going to give him credit, old Mr. Payne, because I did make that connection. EDF owns quite a bit. I think it still owns quite a bit of our infrastructure, our power infrastructure, and a couple of our supply companies as well. EDF, they're big. So when you pay your bill, when you pay your electricity bill and gas bill, it's going to be going to France. It always was, but you know, indirectly. But now it's going to go to the French government. Now this is funny because I always thought that, you know, being an EU member state, renationalising utilities and things like this would be nigh on impossible, because it goes against the whole competition rules that the EU set up. But obviously, the French have special dispensation to do this. Now, if I'd have known that, well, maybe I wouldn't have voted leaving the EU, because that was one of the many pillars of reason why I voted to leave, because I want to see our utilities renationalised, like the French are doing. Take notice. But because we've got this leadership battle and all this politicking going on, all the real issues are being pushed to one side, as usual, because they don't want to help us. They just want to stand around with their hands in their pocket, wondering what's in it for them. Sounds mean, isn't it? Who likes Neighbours? Do you like Neighbours? Neighbours. This is only one for the Brits and the Australians. Do you like the Neighbours? I do. Well, they've got some exclusive pictures of... again, this takes you... Who remembers Des from Neighbours? Is that just me, isn't it? But yeah. Let me just pull it up. Look, it's Jason Donovan and Kylie reunited for the finale of Neighbours, because Neighbours is ending because Channel 5 didn't want it anymore, and the Australians didn't want it either. So they're doing a finale, and all the cast. Guy Pearce is back. That other fella is back. I don't think Des is back. I wish Des was back. But yeah, Kylie and Jason, they're back as well, which is nice, isn't it? It's one for all the old farts to get a little bit nostalgic about. But yeah, who'd have thought, eh? Meanwhile, oh God, if you thought, have you seen the price of Lurpak? Have you seen it? Have you tried to make your own butter? Have you? Well, guess what, folks? Guess what? We're on the brink of a dairy shortage. Are the foods who make Lurpak, funny enough, and Cravendale, and another thing say that yep, we're looking at a massive dairy shortage, and guess what? The prices are going to go up even further. Again, this is the rising cost of feed, fuel, and fertiliser. A lot of this is caused by the Ukraine situation, because a lot of grain that comes from there is used for animal feed. But come on guys, you must have made profits in the past. Can't you all cut us some slack? We're all just going to be making our own butter in the future, aren't we? Oh no, up to 1,500 post office workers launched a 24-hour strike in a row over pay. Here's a picture of them. Thing is, around here, I don't even know if they're on strike or not. Ah ha ha. Such is the randomness of our postal delivery. I love you guys. I miss the old postman who used to say records. He'd hand me again, or he'd comment about my t-shirts that I was wearing. I think we lost connection there. I was moaning about the post office, and now on Saturday they have to write a record on the doorstep in the blazing heat for 10 minutes. Luckily, I got an email telling me so. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. 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 But I got an email. But they left it on the doorstep in the blazing heat, and they didn't even bother to knock or ring the doorbell, because we were here with the door open, ajar, so we can hear the door. Not the front door, obviously, that'd be stupid, wouldn't it? But the door. Apparently, you should not sprinkle extra salt on your dinner, because people who do are 28% more likely to die before 75. Missus, I'm going to be putting more salt on my dinner tonight. I want to end this suffering and this misery. I banged my little toe yesterday. I was rushing because we lost the internet went down. And because the kids get a little bit tetchy, Herb especially, I rushed to inform them that the internet was down. And I banged my little toe, on the same foot that I hurt my ankle. So now I'm limping again. It's not good. Meanwhile, more news from Russia. The Liberal Democratic Party, the LDPR, have suggested that we need to use the term pravitel to address Putin instead of president, which translates to our ruler. They reckon it's a Russian title and it's more befitting of Putin's status and role. He's gone mad. Meanwhile, they're trying to give oral contraceptives to squirrels. There are so many jokes here because they're going to give them the contraceptive because they want to shrivel their nuts. Nuts, get it? Squirrels, nuts. Squirrels, nuts. Yeah, because there are too many grey squirrels, so instead of shooting them, they're going to give them the pill instead. Of course, that'll work. And then a fox will eat the dead squirrel, and then that'll cause some sort of illness in the foxes, and then that'll spread to humanity, and then we've all seen how The Walking Dead starts. Don't mess with these things. Don't mess with these things. It's all, you know. But this has got me thinking about invasive species. I don't know if you're following this story. This is an animal story. On TikTok, you know TikTok, the land where there are very few brain cells, and we call it TikTok because it's the sound of their brain cells knocking together. But a young TikToker in February decided he wanted to start a frog army, and he's gathered more than 1.4 million eggs, which he's hatching into tadpoles, and he's planning to release them. And he's trying to create a pond for 10 million frogs. Of course, everybody knows that when you do this, it's going to have disastrous consequences on the local environment. And he's had 42 million views on his videos. Oh, sorry, 20 million views, likes. No, 2 million followers, 20 million likes across his page for the Frog Army. There's a lot of numbers there. But there's another one called the Ladybug Raider, who had 42 million views on his video, and he released 100 million ladybugs in Central Park in New York. But it didn't end well for him because he got served a lawsuit and currently he fled the US. Yeah, it just goes to show you how stupid people are, because if you're going to do this, you're not only going to create all sorts of damage to the ecosystem, you are going to get yourself into an awful lot of bother, because the authorities take this stuff seriously. You know, I don't know. What's everybody? What are they like? Have I got a funny? Have I got a funny? We've got a woman whose eyebrows fell off. Is that funny? It could be. This is Michelle Clark from Coventry. She was doing an eyebrow wax and tint, and yeah, she had a bit of an allergic reaction. Oh my God, this isn't funny at all. But she had an allergic reaction to the treatment, and it made her. She had to be rushed to A&E because she looked like that. Normally, well, I think she's painted these ones on. I don't think these are real, folks. That's some great catfishing, isn't it? 10-pinter. And there is some of her eyebrow that fell off. There you go. It's not very, I don't think that's a good story. I don't think that's a good story at all. I think that's... I don't think that's a good story. I think it's a rubbish story, eh? It's running under the ball in Pamplona, and that's good. Do you know why? Because the idiots get impaled by the balls. Look, here we go. Oops. Hey! Woo! Go on, ball! Hey! He's not feeling so clever now, is he? Yeah, they've just got... This is great. Hey! You don't mess with the ball. Reminds me of that story. Do you want to hear the story? Guys, he's in Spain, and he's at a restaurant near where they hold the bullfights, and he's sitting there and he sees a tray come out with 2 meatballs, and it looks really delicious. And he says to the waiter, "I'll have that." And he goes, "Well, no, so that's a daily special." They said only one person gets that. We only do it once a day. And if you want it, you have to come back early tomorrow, and maybe we can serve you. And he goes, right, I'll be back tomorrow. So he comes back the next day, first in the queue, marches in. He goes, I want the speciality, please. And he says, right, sir, I'll be right with you. So he's waiting there. He's licking his lips. He's thinking, oh, this is going to be delicious. That really looked like a great meal. So the waiter comes out with his tray and puts it in front of him. And he looks. There's 2 tiny meatballs. And he goes, what do you call this? What do you call this? And he goes, oh, sorry, senor. Sometimes the ball wins. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good joke. I mean, I can't hear you laughing. It's just not right. It's not right. It's an old one. It's an old one, but a goodie. It's a goodie. Yeah, like I say, I should really check the stories out before I come on, shouldn't I? Oh dear. Right. I don't know if I've got a funny one. Who wants the story of Simba the goat? Here we go. This is the story of Simba the goat, and he's become a media star in Pakistan. He's living a pampered existence in Karachi, where he was born last month, and his breeder Mohammed Hassan Rao says he's approaching the Guinness World Records to see if he can get Simba's amazing talents recognised. What are his talents? Well, he's got some amazing ears. Look at that. They are 54 centimetres or 21 inches long, and he wants his goat to be in the Guinness World Records. And Narao is very serious. He takes good care of Simba, and they even recite Quranic verses and blow on him to cast away the evil eye, because that's bound to work. But yeah, there you go. Goat with long ears. See if anyone's in the chat room. I doubt it. Not with the state of my computer and the smoke coming out the back of it. Let's have a look. Is there anybody out there? Oh, there is. James G says, morning, Darren. I've got to be careful because James gets a little bit upset if I miss his message, but he's all right because he's at the top today. He got in early. He says, after 2.5 years, I finally got COVID. Oh well, didn't want to work in the heat anyway. Oh, sorry to hear that. Luckily, we've dodged it. You know, I think we're super spreaders though, but we've all been vaxxed because we want. I've got the Microsoft Xbox and everything because Bill Gates is my king. But yeah, we've been lucky, and I always thought we'd get it. But I think we've probably been asymptomatic because the kids have been to school and stuff, and I was just testing them religiously because we had to test them twice a week, both of them. And none of us here have fingers crossed, touch wood, have fallen foul to the dreaded vid. We'll get well soon. And Alex says, rip Paulie Walnuts. Sopranos. Oh, okay. Zeb says, have you heard The Masquerade tapes by Anthony Phillips? It's quite good. If it's on one of his things, yeah, of course I've heard everything. Whoa, Harry's musical musings, he's flashing the cash today. In fact, this deserves a big look. I'm going to get this on the screen because this is impressive, folks. Look at that. That's gold. That's not cyan anymore. That must change colour with the amount. Sorry, I wouldn't know. This is news to me. But he asked me, am I all right? Yeah, I'm all right. I banged my toe yesterday, and it was horrible. Joseph says, listen to early morning while preparing to work. Greetings from New Mexico. Hope it's warm there. And he says, 20 years ago, our local government introduced an invasive beetle to kill invasive salt seeders. Worked brilliantly. Exactly. You've got to be so careful. John Floyd says, my postman is the same. More records, sir? Yeah, again, that postman's gone. I used to enjoy his company. Bronson the Cat says, the internet died just as you're saying the punchline. What, my internet? Oh, what was the punchline? Do I need to say it again? So anyway, this is why I don't bother. I'll do the whole joke again. I'll keep an eye out. So it's got to be OBS because my connection's rock solid. I'm rock solid. That's what I say. Yeah. Anything else, and it was just because I was feeling a bit tired, or my diabetes, or the medication. So anyway, guy's in Spain, right, and he goes to a restaurant which is near the arena where they do the bullfighting, and he goes to have a meal, and he sees a meal come out on a tray. You know, it's got these 2 huge meatballs. It's covered in tomato sauce. You know, oh, it looks delicious. You know, good, hearty Spanish fare. And he presents it to another customer, and the guy goes to the waiter, "Hey, can I have that?" And the waiter goes, "No, that's a special, 1 day only. You got to get in early for that because we only do it once a day." And he goes, "Okay, so you come early tomorrow. You might be lucky." So the guy goes back there the next day. When he sees the waiter again, he goes, "Remember, I want the special." He went, "Sir, you're in time. We've got the special for you. You wait there. It'll be out in a minute." So the guy's there, but licking his lips, thinking, "Oh, those meatballs look delicious. I can't wait. I can't wait for the meal." So the waiter comes and puts the platter in front of him, and he looks down, and there's just 2 tiny meatballs, and he's like, "What?" So he looks at the waiter and goes, What's this?" And the waiter goes, "Sorry, senor, sometimes the ball wins." It's not so good the second time around, but I'm sorry, the internet died. Joseph says, "The goat with the long ears is standard fare at a local freak show at the county fair." Yeah, but you got to get your tape measure out. Everyone is getting it eventually, and we'll have to turn Dancing with the Devil. He's talking about the COVID, and he got stuck on a standing room only train back from that London last week. That's where I got it. Oh dear. Well, that's the problem. Don't want to go to London, and you certainly don't want to be on a train because it's full, like I told you, it's full of people, and people are dirty with germs. You want to avoid the people because remember, it's the people make you sick. Remember that. Anyway, I do my best to avoid people. Sometimes it's really hard because they like to, I don't know, get in your face. Yes, please join me on Facebook for stories of people getting in my face. Anyway, Bronson says, "On you, Darren. I didn't cut it out this time." Yeah, oh, good. I'm glad you got it that time. Sorry, I'll have to edit the feed. This is disgraceful. Anyway, thanks to Harry, who's really splashing the cash. I mean, at this rate, I'll be able to retire next Tuesday. I mean, crikey, I'm just YouTube's finally paying off. You know, I feel like, what's that guy Limmy? I feel like him, but with nowhere near the popularity. But yeah, like I say, I do this all off the top of my head for my sins. I was only joking about editing it. I know Naz who watches. All right, Naz, enjoying your holiday. He got a bit worried. He thought I was going to take this seriously. No, I can't do that. I have to do this live, you know, so you can see the whites of my eyes, and it makes my brain work, you know. And it also has more fun. It's different. Not many people do this, so I like to do something different. Not everyone else does this. Everyone's all clipped and clean and perfect, and I like to be imperfect because life isn't perfect. It's rough around the edges, like I am, and like you are, like we all are, because we're those people, and we know sometimes, you know, perfection is nice, but sometimes that'll do. And I think that really is a lesson we all need to learn. Thank you for watching. My name's been Darren. Like I've been talking about the news. It's been the news, and yeah, that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, I'm sorry, but I think I've done enough damage today. Drink it up. Ta-da.